is Dallin Cordova, the Scrum Master for 24/7, presenting Sprint1. As a player, I want to see randomly generated maps or levels of the dungeon so that I can have a unique experience. Maps are randomly generated. There is at least one path through the dungeon to the next floor.
This is Will Bohannon. My user story. As a player, I want to see a list of characters that I can choose from when I press the New Game button, so I can select the character that I want to play with. The acceptance criteria. The New Game button is clickable and opens a new screen upon clicking it. The list of characters that is displayed where the player can select a character that the player wants to play with. So, when I click the New Game button, it is clickable, and it shows a list of characters that the player can play with. My user story. As a player, I want to see my previously saved character/game when I press the Load Game button, so that I can resume the game from where I left off. The acceptance criteria. The Load Game button is clickable and opens a new screen upon clicking it. And the list of saved game character is displayed where the player can select the previously saved game character that the player wants to resume. So go back to the starting menu. Load Game is clickable, and it shows a list of saved game characters that you can click from.
As a player, I want to start a new game when I select a character so that I can begin playing the game. Accepting criteria. The character is a selectable and open new screen upon selecting a character. The game scene is displayed where the player can start playing the game. I will press the button New Game, select the character, hit the Start Game.
As a player, I want to select the arrows so that I can navigate around the dungeon. And the acceptance criteria for this user story is: the up arrow moves the character one space up, and the down arrow moves the character one space down. The left arrow moves the character one space left, and the right arrow moves the character one space to the right. And as you can see that the up arrow moves the character one space to the left, up, and down arrow moves character one space down. Left arrow moves character one space left, and right arrow moves the character one space to the right. And the next user story is: as a player, I want to travel onto a stair so that I can move to a different floor. And the acceptance criteria for that is: the player can move onto the stairs, and moving into a stair moves the player to another floor. And as you will see here that the player can move onto a stair, and moving onto the stair takes the player to another floor.
As a player, I want to find new items/weapons in the dungeon so that I can use them to safely navigate around the dungeon. The acceptance criteria for my user story is that items appear on the dungeon floor and are picked up when walked on by the player. As you can see, I have randomly generated a weapon on the dungeon floor, and as the player moves to the item, and when the player steps on the same tile that the item is located, the player will pick up the item and it is placed in the player's inventory.
As a player, I want to have different game tiles so that the maps are challenging. The acceptance criteria are that 4 tiles allow movable characters to move freely across them, wall tiles prevent movable characters from moving, and stairs allow for stair functionality. In the game, we can see all of these 4 tiles all around the map, and our character here, we can move from around, and you can see that he can move freely on all of the 4 tiles. But as soon as you get up to a wall and you try moving into it, you will be unable to move. Additionally, the player can go on top of the stairs, which will allow for the stair functionality.
As a player, I want to resume the game upon selecting the saved character game so that I can resume the game from where I left off. Accepting criteria: the saved game character is selectable and open new screen upon selecting a saved game character. The game scene where the player previously left off is displayed, where the player can resume the game from where the player left off previously. So here, by clicking on load game, so now I have to select where the saved game is. Thank you for watching.